I'm not used to having a microphone and having people film me and stuff. It's odd. It's really odd. I know what Sarah was going through now. Sarah was, was really looking uncomfortable. And it's because this is really disconcerting.
It is strange, isn't it?
It is very strange. It's going to take me a while to get used to it, but I could try and get a little snapshot of each of the stalls here. Tell me a bit about Global Justice Now.
Global Justice Now is a kind of activist NGO. We have a network of local groups all across the country that take action on our campaigns. So it's all kind of internationalist, a lot of global solidarity, global South solidarity, and mostly like targeting corporate power.
I can see references to Palestine in some of your leaflets. I can also see references to Colombia. What's the story there?
So the Colombia campaign is the latest iteration of our campaign against ISDS, which is Investor State Dispute Settlement, which is a clause written into a lot of trade deals that allows corporations to sue governments when they make any changes to laws or policies that affect their profits. The West Cumbria Coal Mine Company is now suing the UK because its holding company is based in Singapore, so they're using the UK-Singapore trade deal to sue the UK government. The person that's presiding over this is Geoffrey Cox, a Tory MP, is currently suing his own government, the UK government, because of the lost profits now that they can no longer continue with that coal mine. So it's a massive barrier to democracy, and specifically to the climate, to any action that we want to phase out climate change. The climate crisis is making everybody's lives harder. It's making our food more expensive, our energy bills more expensive. It's making it harder to get insurance. People's homes are being damaged by extreme weather. And this is something that the kind of, things like ISDS are what is blocking any progress on that.
So we're here at the World Transformed Festival on behalf of the Kurdish Assembly in Britain. Abdullah Öcalan is the imprisoned leader of the movement, been in prison 26 years. His proposals for Kurdish and Turkish society, but also for the broader region, I believe are also proposals for the entire world, for how we can move towards a more liberated society, away from capitalism, away from the nation state, away from oppression of all people. And these principles are based on women's liberation at the centre, grassroots non-state democracy, and the principles of ecology. And so we're here today to say freedom for Öcalan and peaceful solution to the Kurdish question.
The Praler Fund is a repatriation justice initiative. It's part of a broader educational process of building South-South solidarity and international solidarity. So we're selling textiles on behalf of the Peruvian Indigenous and Peasant Women's Union, the FENME. So at the moment we're doing a campaign to gather contributions of second-hand technology like phones, laptops, microphones, cameras, memory sticks to distribute to communities, both in West Africa and other places. Yeah, it's particularly comms equipment, both to kind of like strengthen the interconnection, because I think a lot of countries or indigenous communities on the African continent have been split up by the artificial colonial border.
So Calais Appeal is a group of 6 grassroots organisations that work at the UK-France border. So we all provide different services, from material support, things like tents, food and water, to psychosocial support like play sessions for children across the 6 different member organisations. We're also really worried about the new one-in, one-out deal, which means people are at risk of being deported back to France. The people who have already been deported are all people in quite high levels of risk. So we don't believe anyone should be deported back to France. We believe people should be able to choose where they live and where they seek safety, and particularly after, there's reasons people don't want to be in France, but the people we've seen being deported are not safe in France. They're at risk in a lot of different ways. But certainly from Project Play, working with children at the border, we've met a lot of children who have been subject to tear gas on the beaches, including children as young as 2 months old. We've seen with damage to their eyes, who've been subject to tear gas from the French police. Also, I would say something that's really striking at the moment is because of this increased police repression and violence, people are stuck at the border for much longer. The fear of trying to cross, sometimes being in the water for hours and then the boat failing and having to be rescued. These are incredibly traumatic events, and they're happening more and more and more because of this police repression. So there are no safe ways for people to come. There is now the route that's part of the one-in, one-out scheme, but people aren't really able to apply for that. We've seen pretty much everyone we work with being rejected from that scheme for spurious reasons.
Hi, Hi, I'm Chloe. I'm the building manager at Bridge 5 Mill. And so Bridge 5 Mill is a social change centre in Manchester. It was created about 25 years ago as a centre for community organisations, campaigners, environmental and social change organisations to have a space to come together for collective action. So we operate with sustainable and ethical principles. So for example, we're a vegetarian venue. We have like solar panels on our roof, so we do care about sustainability. And it's part of a broader vision and sort of project around building a fairer future. It's important for create spaces, especially in cities where it's like ever, developed, ever, capitalized, to have spaces for the people places to organize and for the grassroots. So that's what we try and keep up.
Yeah, so we're actually a worker co-op. We're called the Solidarity Economy Association. We've been running Dope magazine for about a year and a half. It's an economic solidarity economy project that directly supports the livelihoods of homeless people. Anyone that wants to sell it, we don't do any checks, there's no barriers. Anyone that wants to sell it can come in London every Friday between 12 and 6, and we give them bags of free magazines that they then sell and keep 100% of the profit. It's also one of the biggest in terms of distribution, radical left, like anti-authoritarian content magazines, which is able to reach, because of the model, lots of people that wouldn't usually access that kind of content. So we have artists and writers focusing on struggles around the world, campaigns here in the UK. It's both a voice for all of these struggles, and it's also a means for livelihood for people who are experiencing poverty.
RS21 stands for Revolutionary Socialism in the 21st Century, and we're a revolutionary socialist organisation, but we're also trans-feminist, anti-racist and eco-socialist. So we stand for a form of stretched Marxism. What we mean by that is a form of Marxism that takes liberation politics seriously, and an analysis of racial capitalism, of the gender dimensions of capitalism, the way that disability is figured by capitalism, and beyond, is essential to our class analysis and our analysis of how we build revolutionary struggle. So at the moment we're mostly focused on trying to contribute to building your party as a democratic, liberatory class struggle organisation. So that means that lots of us are joining local proto-branches transparently as RS21 members. We're not trying to recruit to RS21, we're trying to bring our politics into dialogue with other people's politics. We are supporting the Trans Liberation Group, the Democratic Socialists for a Party Republic, and the Organising for People Power, Popular Power factions, but we also support all the other factions as well. I'm regretting saying we support the factions because it sounds like they're our fronts. They're not. They weren't set up by RS21ers, but RS21ers are involved, and it's congruent with our politics and the motions that we've passed. So we're promoting them at our stall.
Yeah, so Greens Organise is a network of Green Party members, and we're the eco-socialist network of Green Party members. And we think of ourselves as it's kind of a political pressure organisation. We're trying to push the party to really live up to its potential. And obviously with Zack being elected and an influx of so many new members, many of whom are Greens Organise aligned, it's a really exciting time for us. You can sign up to be a member on our website, and we have different tiers. There's a free option, so we want everyone to join if possible. What we want to try and do now is support people to set up their groups, set up groups in places, connect people with each other. I think the best thing to do would be to email our info at email address, because we want to start building those networks. Because we know that people are everywhere. It's just that case of do they know someone, and building those relationships.
What do you think of Zack's approach in terms of getting media attention and the sort of new approach that the Green Party seems to have taken since Zack's election?
I mean, it's clearly working. I didn't join the Greens until April this year, and before that I knew nothing about the Greens. I didn't really know who the leaders were. I couldn't really identify anyone, and the same goes for so many of my family and friends who have the same politics, but the Greens just sort of had a real PR problem of getting through to people. And so now what Zack's doing, really being bold and like arguing with people on news shows, it's clearly working. Like, so many people know his name who would not really be following politics or following news. So like, I think he should keep going with what he's doing, because we're going to just get so much more attention, and then people are then sort of just aware, like, oh yeah, the Greens exist.